Listen to me. If there was a wise man who would ever think of this, they would say in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. For I am the man himself.
Earliest apologies for not quite having this prepared, but here's the new Raw background with the updated graphic, very similar to the SmackDowns, of course, except I didn't have the little motion graphic with the Raw logo done yet before I did this stream, and I didn't want to put it off anymore, so I will hopefully have that prepared for the next Raw review I do, which of course won't be till after the Rumble, since next week is Rumble week, and I'm still going to stick with my plan of taking a break from weekly reviews the week of a pay-per-view, so that I can have the time just to relax and just prepare for the pay-per-view. But I am here tonight, as it is the first Monday Night Raw review I've done, well, in 2 weeks. But we are back on schedule again with reviews. And again, I am trying to go live more often. So that's the goal. And of course, it did take a little bit for me to set this stream up, but I fought through it. I did it. We're good. So what is going on, guys? This is the Club of the Man 1993, and we are here live here on YouTube to review this week's episode of Monday Night Raw, the January 20th, 2025. Can you still say that year still? Edition of Monday Night Raw, and it took place in Dallas, Texas. It was technically a go-home show for this Saturday's episode of Saturday Night's Main Event. I'm kind of still in between about watching it, to be honest. Like I said, when they did it last month, I wasn't really blown away. It honestly felt like I was watching a glorified house show live on TV. And those don't quite entertain me too much. But we have a couple interesting matches happening on Saturday. We do have Gunther and Jey Uso for the world title. We have Sheamus and Bron Breakker for the Intercontinental title. We also have a match I'm actually really intrigued by. Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman. That's probably the match I'm looking forward to the most, I would say, out of any of the matches. And then after that, we also have Rhea, Ripley, and Nia Jax. We'll talk about that in a second. And then we also have, we're getting 4 matches and a contract signing. Which will be, well, it's not quite a contract signing. It's more so like just an addendum for the ladder match at Royal Rumble. Don't know exactly what it is. But we'll see. And Shawn Michaels is supposed to be there monitoring. It's going to be in San Antonio. So Shawn Michaels will be making a special guest appearance at Saturday night's Main Event. We'll see how it goes. Like I said, I may check it out. I'm not sure. If I do, I will do another review on it. Like I said, I just wasn't super impressed with the first Saturday night's Main Event, if I'm being real. And like I said, other than Jacob Fatu and Braun Strowman, and maybe the contract signing of Shawn's going to be there, it's going to be it is what it is show, in my opinion. I don't think Sheamus is going to beat Bron Breakker yet for the Intercontinental title, although I think they are really teasing him eventually to win that title. And Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax. Okay, we'll talk about that when we get to the women. Because overall, for this week's episode of Raw, I have like a mixed bag for this week's episode of Raw. There were some things I liked. I do enjoy what I did like what happened in the main event with Sami Zayn and Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins. I feel like they're going to be teasing, like, they're still teasing the heck out of this heel turn from Seth Rollins. Still, like, inching to see this possible alliance with Seth Rollins, Drew McIntyre, and Kevin Owens. Kevin Owens appeared on Raw as well this week and had a little bit of an interesting chat with Sami Zayn, which, again, it's very obvious at this point. Kevin Owens is not winning at Royal Rumble. I hate that's happening because I still think with how hot this new heel character started off for Kevin Owens, they should have actually put the belt on. Not just, the Winged Eagle title to say he's a champion when he technically really isn't, unfortunately. Yes, he had I think a moment of having the match won at last month's Saturday Night's main event, but the decision stands and he is not the champion. I just wish he would have gotten a legitimate title victory, if I'm being honest there. But where was I going with this? I did like that. I did, of course, like CM Punk's fired up Rumble promo. He even shot on Hulk Hogan in it, too, which was crazy for sure. By the way, also, for the second week in a row, no John Cena. That's very strange to me. Since, obviously, I know he wasn't going to be making every single show. But, when he's supposed to be working, 35 dates a year, I think he's working. And, at least right now, in the build to the Rumble, you would think he would be on the shows a little bit more. I don't know. That's a little bit of a head scratcher for me, with John Cena not being on the shows. The stuff that bothered me the most about this episode was the stuff they did with the women. We'll talk about that. I keep saying that, but let's just roll in. And also, when we do talk about the Kofi Kingston and Rey Mysterio match, my good friend here on YouTube, Robbie Kenobi, did ask me to talk about what I think they should do with the LWO. So I will address that as well when I do get to that as well. But in the live chat, we have Tyler and we also have Baxter. And Tyler says, "Hi, Mike. Why is Nia facing Rhea again?" My exact question as well. But to kind of get into it early, if it's just for just a random match to get a women's match on a glorified house show type show, fine, but it still is an awkward scenario with it, which I'll get to in a second. Baxter says, "Hi. We need a bigger ring for that big boy fight." Yep, with Braun Strowman and Jacob Fatu talking about, that's for sure. But that's all we have in the live chat so far. Let's roll in and talk about the show. So, when the show opens up, we see Rhea Ripley coming in. And then all of a sudden, out of nowhere, she gets attacked by Nia Jax. Which, again, there's this whole transfer window here thing that they're doing because they're teasing some superstars switching brands as they want to even out the rosters a little bit more with, SmackDown going 3 hours and Raw is kind of like flexible, kind of like 2.5, 3 hours right now, which I'm totally cool with. But why is Nia attacking Rhea when she's still technically on SmackDown? She just lost the championship. How does her attacking Rhea Ripley really get her a title shot? I don't get that. I'm confused by that. I just thought it was weird. Like if she was actually on Raw, fine. But again, she's not on Raw, and we just did this match last year. And for what it was fine. But I'm just like, why are we doing this? So that kind of had my head scratching. Michael Cole also, Rhea was beaten down, but again, she's going to be fine for Saturday. Michael Cole also was on commentary this week with Wade Barrett, as Pat McAfee was busy with college football. We all did hear the story about Corey Graves, unfortunately, being the one to get demoted after Pat McAfee came back and it changed up the commentary teams. Michael Cole and Pat McAfee are on Raw, and Wade Barrett and Joe Tessitore are on SmackDown. Corey Graves got sent back to NXT, and he was not happy about it. He did voice his opinion on Twitter. He was, though, back this week, I think I heard, but we'll see where it goes. I understand why Corey's frustrated, but again, unfortunately, somebody had to bite the bullet, pretty much, unfortunately. And unfortunately, he was the one who got the demotion. I feel bad, but it is what it is. But yeah, Wade was there this week with Michael Cole. So anyways, we then had main event Jey Uso come out, who's getting a title shot against Gunther on Saturday. So he goes to hype up the show from Saturday and says he plans to win the world title. But then out comes Gunther. And basically the promo was Gunther saying that Jey thinks he's funny. And we all know that it was all going to happen. Jay's going to get a title shot and he is not going to win it. And he basically says that Jey is nothing but like more so of like a mascot and whatnot. And he just basically just kind of tears down Jey, saying you don't win the big ones. Jey basically admits, you're right. And yeah, he is the mascot. And the people in the crowd is his team. His squad who ride and slide with him. And they'll be with him when he wins the title on Saturday. And then he also points out, just so you know, I have main evented WrestleMania. You, Gunther, have not. And then they get into a brawl, and then they get broken up and whatnot. So, here's my thing. I get why I'm not quite as excited about this match for Saturday as I should. Because I really don't think they're going to take the belt off Gunther. I really don't. Because anytime Gunther's had a title, he's had a lengthy reign. But I also, again, I thought the same too whenever Jey fought Bron and won the Intercontinental title briefly. They could pull the trigger, but I still don't think they're going to take the belt off Gunther. But I kind of can see them maybe considering it, because I'm not going to lie, I like Gunther. But I feel like he's cooled off just a wee bit since he lost to Cody at Crown Jewel. I wouldn't be surprised if they maybe decided to throw the world title into like a bigger feud. Like, a lot of rumors are swirling that we could see Seth Rollins beat Gunther for the world title, maybe at Chamber or something, and we have CM Punk win the Royal Rumble, and they make their feud into a world title feud. They could, maybe? I don't know. Because even so, like, who is Gunther going to fight at WrestleMania? And there's rumors about him and John Cena. I still would rather have John Cena fight Cody. But other than that, yeah, it's like, who does Gunther fight? I don't think he's fighting Ludwig. I don't think he's fighting Sheamus. I mean, again, you could do maybe like a fatal 4-way with Gunther, Seth, Drew, and Punk. I don't know. Like I don't really see much of a light for a WrestleMania for Gunther. And even if he did go into WrestleMania as world champion, I feel like his feud would kind of feel like an afterthought. So that's why I am wondering if it is possible he may be dropping the title before Mania. But we'll have to wait and see, though. But I still can't fully, believe they could put the belt on Jey on Saturday. But then again, you never know. So we're going to hold out and see on that one. That was an interesting call for sure. But we'll see where it goes. So yeah, that's how we open up the show. Following this, we have New Day backstage, where they ran into JBL, who no doubt understands what they did to to Big E. And then they said, "Oh, you get us," and they slid money into his pocket because he got them. But then also, he then says that he's got to go pay attention to the match, and then New Day sours and they walk off disappointed because I think JBL didn't fully agree with them. And he's like, "Can I keep the $2?" When they came out, they pulled the $2 off of him. Also, before we had the match, we had Bayley being interviewed backstage, and apparently Bayley's officially moved over to Raw. Random, but okay. And then she also declares herself for the Rumble, and she wants to win again back-to-back years. But then Nia rolls up, and she says she's going to be in the Rumble as well. And they're setting up for them to have a match later on in the show. Again, why? Yes, Bayley's on Raw now. Nia's not officially on Raw. She just randomly showed up tonight because of the transfer window. And yeah, is anybody sick of seeing Bayley and Nia fight? Because I am. I've seen them fight too many times. They've had a handful of good matches, but most of them really were not that good, if I'm being real. But yeah, this kind of made me feel like it made me feel like the days of when both stars were on Raw and SmackDown. Because we basically got something involved in this on Friday. Now we got something again involved in it on Monday. Like I said, I don't like when the same storylines are crossing over that really aren't needed to cross over on both shows. But who the heck knows? I don't know. But let's just move on. So the New Day, of course, come out for their match. They first tell them to cut their music. They're annoyed by their music. And Kofi says the crowd is starting to piss them off with their booing. All they've been doing this too long and be disrespected like this. And then they walk over and took the money they gave JBL back off of him. JBL was on commentary for this match with Kofi Kingston and Rey Mysterio. I do like also that Kofi shaved his mustache for a little bit of a different look for his heel look. Has Kofi ever been without a mustache that I can remember of? But him and Rey had a pretty good match. Rey though does get the victory with the pinning predicament. And then afterwards, though, the New Day, Xavier Woods was outside, and they start beating down on Joaquin Wilde and Rey Mysterio. But Cruz del Toro makes the save. New Day look like they're going to leave, and come back and do a hit and run on Wilde, and then throw him into the post. So I guess this is just a filler feud for New Day, I guess. I feel like soon, though, they will put the tag titles on them. Of course, I don't know if any of them are going to be in the Rumble on next Saturday. I would love it still if Big E would make a surprise entrant in the Rumble. Because I still feel like if there wasn't a chance Big E was going to be cleared, they wouldn't have said what they said in that segment when they had the New Day somewhat split, banning Big E on the New Day's 10-year anniversary. So I don't know. I'm curious to see where this goes. So we'll see. But I do feel like sometime soon they will be the World Tag Team Champions. To talk about LWO though, as Robbie asked me, I really don't know what to do with LWO. I really haven't been digging. Not really been digging them since I would say the end of the feud with Rey Mysterio and Santos Escobar last year. It kind of just fell off. And, I was never really the biggest fan of Cruz del Toro or Joaquin Wilde. The past year, though, seeing some of his stuff, though, I have kind of... Joaquin Wilde's kind of grown on me a little. Cruz del Toro's decent. And we all know Zelina Vega's good. I just don't see much for this group right now. If it was a year ago, I'd say swerve us and have, since they were just kind of getting out of a feud, have them turn on Rey Mysterio and Dominik becomes their new leader. But now I feel like it's kind of late for that. Did you agree with me? I don't know. I personally would maybe consider just having Dom do his own thing. Of course, he's, seemingly okay, but not really with Liv Morgan right now since Liv lost the title. And other than that, I don't... I would say if they would split them, send Joaquin Wilde and Cruz del Toro back to NXT. Have them, continue to, get some experience out there and improve. Because again, I see improvements, but I still kind of view them as a jobber tag team. As for Zelina, why not put her back with Andrade? Or, because, and the spoiler alert for a video I've been wanting to do that keeps getting more and more topics added to it, it looks like we might be getting Aleister Black soon as well. Because it looks like he finished up with AEW. But that could be me jumping the gun. But we will talk about that in a different video. Or you could put her with him. Either put her back with Andrade, or I don't know. We'll see. But like I said, I just don't... I see not much really with them as a group anymore. They kind of feel like a job squad. I thought it was cool when they first started. And, there was somewhat there because, LWO stood by Rey Mysterio's side and Santos Escobar built his own army, basically, reigniting the heel character he had from when he was in NXT with Legado del Fantasma, except with Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo instead of Cruz del Toro and Joaquin Wilde. But, yeah, again, I'm just not... I don't think that they're that big of a hit anymore, if I'm being honest. So... that's just my opinion on it, if I'm being honest there. Oh, yeah, I forgot about Dragon Lee as well. He's kind of an honorary member for them. Yeah, he needs to be a single star as well. Give him a Penta. Speaking of which, we'll talk about Penta in just a few minutes. But, so we had that happen. And then afterwards, we have Chad Gable getting interviewed by an interviewer. He turns around and says he knows the whole wrestling world is talking about him, and he knows it seems like he has a problem fighting luchadors. He's been feuding with LWO, and he was also Penta's debuting match last week. So he went to an intelligent man with a mustache to match Dominik Mysterio to help him out with this luchador problem. He's given the rest of the squad, though, their marching orders, and he goes to go after their various titles, which I hope happens for sure. I still think, though, they should consider moving American Made to SmackDown. I think, they if you need something fresh for SmackDown's roster, especially for the 3 hours, give American Made the time. Chad Gable, earlier, back in like the spring and early summer of this past year, he really held his own with this new character when he feuded with Sami Zayn. So I think, with how thin the rosters on SmackDown, they could use a Chad Gable and the rest of American Made. I still, again, would maybe keep them heels for now. Maybe if you want to bring Kurt Angle to manage them, it's been rumored many times, do that. But, we'll see. Julius Creed says they're going to take the tag titles away from a team at the end of their career and win them for themselves. And then I guess Ivy now, they want her to win the women's title, but they got to give Ivy a little bit more to do, I feel like. She's kind of been just there for a bit. I think she's great. I think she's going to be a good, like, powerhouse type wrestler, but she hasn't done much lately. So, we'll see. Sami Zayn came out basically announcing that he's going to be in the Rumble match and just fires up how, he wants to be world champion. Then this brings out Kevin Owens. And this is interesting. This is the first time in a while, first time at least since Kevin's turned heel, that him and Sami have interacted. Kevin comes out, and then Sami's like, well, I knew it was only a matter of time. What do you want to do about this? He obviously knows that Kevin probably holds a grudge against him now because he helped Roman Reigns at War Games. KO says, is confused, and Sami says, the whole world saw what he did to Cody Rhodes. So how is this going to go down? KO admits he didn't understand Sami with Roman at Survivor Series. But then he thought about it and realized, compared to Cody, this is different. Sami and Roman have a lot of history, much like the two of them do. Sami has overlooked a lot of things Reigns has done to him, same as he's forgiven Owens for similar trespasses. And that's what Sami Zayn does. To Kevin Owens, he's a good person. Seth is right. Sami also has a lot of friends and does a lot for them. And that's why he's here as his very best friend. He thinks Sami Zayn can win the Rumble because he deserves to win the Rumble and go to fight for the world title. And they could then accomplish one thing they've dreamed of for the past 25 years. They won the tag titles in the main event of WrestleMania, and now they can do it one-on-one for the world title. Which, God, that would be a miracle if that happened, but it's not. And he knows Sami will not just win the Rumble, because Kevin will have his back. Just like he knows that he will walk out as world champion against Cody at the ladder match, but because he knows Sami will have his back. Ooh. I like that little, like, swerve right there. A little, like, wrinkle. So that's how they're going to probably, like I said, it's obvious to me that they're going to do Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens at WrestleMania. This will be their second WrestleMania match one-on-one against each other. Because the first one they did was at WrestleMania 37, roles were reversed. And that's when we were first introduced to Logan Paul. Yay! Speaking of which, he had a vignette later tonight. He's going to be on Raw next week. Ugh! But, anyways. So this time, of course, it's the roles reversed. Of course, them having a world title involved would be pretty cool if you say so to me. But I like how obviously it's a test of bonds of friendship. And this time, Sami's not going to help Kevin. Hopefully that story at least protects Kevin Owens at Rumble, because I hate to see him lose again, but we all know Cody's retaining the title at Rumble, unfortunately. I just wish they would have thrown, again, nothing against Cody, I just wish they would have thrown Kevin Owens a bone and given him the world title right here. I really do. But it's not going to happen. After this, we had Sheamus being interviewed backstage, talking about how he's had the perfect career backwards, apparently. He beat John Cena 6 months in, but the Intercontinental title is the first title that drew him to WWE. And he just can't seem to fulfill that destiny. Braun Breaker rolls up and tells Sheamus to look at the title, and says this is as close as you'll ever get to it. He's going to beat him on Saturday and break him like an old man. And then Sheamus shoves Braun away, and Braun just walks away. Then we had the Bayley and Nia Jax match. Roxanne Perez was in the crowd this time, and I believe Bayley did try to get her hands on her this time as compared to on Saturday. Last Friday she didn't, but yeah, they're definitely teasing the heck that there is a feud going on, whether it's in NXT or when Roxanne gets called up, which I think Roxanne's about to get called up. They're going to feud with each other, so cool with me on that one there. But I did like in the match also where Bayley did mock Nia's finisher and how she poses. I thought that was kind of funny. But then Nia eventually would get the victory and whatever. Rhea came out and they brawled and whatnot, and they set up for their match. I don't really care for this coming Saturday, whatever. Besides that, we didn't have Chad Gable then continuing to chat with Dominik Mysterio. And Dom says he knows a guy that can help him out and hands him a folded up piece of paper. Gable says he's going to go master the dark arts of Lucha Libre. Whatever that means. Jay starts talking about how they have to get the tag titles, but Finn is still out hurt from their street fight last week. So what are you going to do? And Dom offers to step in, and he says Finn won't mind. Teasing some more dissension, of course, between Finn and Dom. Then Dom goes talk to Liv, who obviously said, "Oh, I'm not mad at you, but really am." And Liv tells him she's not mad, but he has an idea to make it up to her anyway, and they walk off together. We also get a video package of Lyra Valkyria winning the first ever Women's Intercontinental title. Congratulations. Get also a PNG image of you with the title, so I can put that on the graphic as well. We have the MLK Day hype package. We also have Sami Zayn backstage catching up with Seth Rollins. He thanks him for a little pep talk last week, and then Seth says he heard him out there, he respects him, and as long as he's rooting for him in the Rumble. But of course, push comes to shove, he'll throw him right out. Sami, of course, says, not if he does so first. And they then showed Seth walking away. And I didn't realize this until it got pointed out on the internet, that apparently in the background, while Seth was walking away, you do see Karrion Kross further in the background. Kind of like Karrion continued to play this role of like the devil on your shoulder, whatnot. Teasing again that they're getting ready to turn Seth Rollins heel. As I think at this point, since he lost to Punk, I think you gotta just do it, in my opinion. Like I said, I would love to see them turn Seth Rollins heel and have him, Drew, and Kevin get this tease of alliance. It's kind of like the Roman Reigns rejects, basically, if you want to put it that way. But that would be an interesting alliance for sure. They did the three of them together. Heck, you could do that and a three-way with Punk, Jey Uso, and Sami Zayn, but that's the bigger match for WrestleMania, still Seth Rollins and CM Punk, still in my opinion. So, but you never know. I also wonder, because they've had so many promos together, if they ever would consider doing a triple threat with CM Punk, Seth, and Drew. That would be a hell of a triple threat match as well, but maybe we'll see. Pete Dunne has a match with Penta, had an outstanding debut match against Chad Gable. This was still good as well. I still feel bad that Pete Dunne's kind of in this spot where it's like he's doing what he can to maintain his momentum, but there just isn't a spot for him up on top right now. But you still like see him and you know that, okay, someday he's going to get that spot. But him and Penta had an excellent match. Penta, of course, did get the victory. I'm hoping he's in the Rumble as well. This is what we got the whole CM Punk promo. So he's out in the crowd being interviewed by Jackie Redmond. And he's all fired up and says he's the maker of history. Just 3 weeks ago, he main evented the first Raw on Netflix and beat Seth Rollins, the favorite to win the Royal Rumble. It's a fickle business because the stakes are too high, the lights are too bright, and that's when CM Punk thrives. He can't see John Cena throwing him over the top rope. Roman Reigns needs to help to settle family business at War Games because Punk was on his team for War Games. He put Drew McIntyre in the dirt. Sami Zayn ain't on his level. And then he goes, if you put Hulk Hogan in the Rumble, he'll put his dusty ass over the top rope and Hulkamania once and for all. Dang, like he basically, there's like a meme going around with the whole thing. Like, remember how there was a shirt where McIntyre had the gravestone for Punk? That was going around with Punk and Hulkamania. Because that part got over really good because we all know Hulk Hogan's been getting booed in some certain cities and whatnot within the past month or so. But anyways, he says his name is CM Punk. He settled his scores, cashed in debts, called in a favor or two to make sure one man, one name, 3 syllables, gets his hands raised. CM Punk. That was a good promo. The Hulk Hogan part just cracked me up, though, for sure. After this, we have Damage Control and the Pure Fusion Collective. Well, it was just Dakota Kai and Io Sky versus Shayna Baszler and Zoe Stark. How many more times are we going to see these two teams fight? It's too bad because years ago in NXT, I so badly wanted Dakota Kai, who I think has never gotten that full comeuppance on Shayna Baszler from their debut in matches in NXT. I see this match, see how far Shayna's fallen. And again, I'm sorry, this Pure Fusion Collective, I mean, I get the idea they're going behind it, but it's just not working. I'm not a fan of it. The name sucks. The theme song, though, is good, but I'm not a fan of it. And I'm not a fan of these two teams constantly fighting for, like, no reason. But, yeah, that match happens. Damage Control do win. And then we had the main event, Drew McIntyre and Seth Rollins, the WrestleMania rematch. Match was good. Drew and Seth always have had great chemistry together. Seth Rollins, though, does sneak a victory with a jackknife. And then Drew was furious and attacked Seth Rollins after the match. But while that's going on, here comes Sami Zayn to help Seth Rollins. But then it backfires because when Sami went for a haluva kick, Drew sidestepped it, and Sami accidentally haluva kicked Seth Rollins instead. Of course, there was Drew McIntyre like cackling in the background, and Sami's like trying to reason with Seth, saying he was sorry, he didn't mean to, it was an accident. We all see Seth Rollins though seething. Obviously, I don't think he's going to forgive Sami for that. Or he could, and then all of a sudden snap on him, but I don't know. Since Survivor Series, they've kind of been teasing a singles match, though, with Sami and Seth. Maybe they'll do that at Chamber or something, or heck, if they do another Saturday Night's main event for WrestleMania, that'd be an excellent match to main event the show. Sami Zayn and Seth Rollins. I don't think we have. I know they've had a couple one-on-one matches on Raw, but have they actually had a pay-per-view match? I think that would be interesting if they did that. But we'll see if they do that. But that was a very interesting ending there for sure. I still think though they should, before, if they do turn Seth Rollins heel, they may still want to consider doing the triple threat though with CM Punk, Seth Rollins, and Drew McIntyre. I just feel like that with how many promos those three have had with each other, I feel like it's a match that can't be passed up at this point. I mean, heck, they could end up doing that match at WrestleMania before they have Seth Rollins fully turned if they do that. Just saying. But that's going to do it for this episode of Raw. I gave the B-. Like I said, I feel like this is more so, it was kind of like a go-home show for Saturday night's main event. Not too much development for the Rumble, other than a few new names added to the Rumble matches. The women's stuff just really kind of like threw me off on the show. Nia getting involved with Rhea, but Nia's still on SmackDown, and she just lost SmackDown's women's title, so how does she get a shot for the Raw one? And we just had them fight last year? I don't know. It's a strange situation with that one. And also, like I said before, I'm just so sick of Pure Fusion Collective versus Damage Control. If they do a draft or with this whole transfer window, can we at least put each of those teams on different shows? Please. But, you know. Let me see here. In the live chat, Tyler is still here. He said, one more Rumble to go on the second channel. Nice. Did you hear about the Britt Baker drama in AEW? I need to do a video on some AEW topics. I've been meaning to do it, but I just haven't set up the graphics with. But I will do that, and I may do that one live. When, though? It should be soon, though. But I will talk about the Britt Baker drama in that video. Rhea and Nia's match last year was boring at Chamber. It was fine. I mean, I was cool with it because it was Rhea getting a shot to main event in Australia, which was nice to see happen. So I was cool with it for that, but yeah, I don't need to see it again, though, in my opinion. I do need Nia to stop fighting Bayley, Naomi, and Bianca. Yeah, especially her and Bayley, they've been fighting for years. And like I said, not many of their matches have been good. Seth should be world champion than Gunther. Like I said, I like Gunther, but I feel like he has to like get his steam back. I still think because his character has always been built around winning, I still think he should have been the one to win, to beat Cody Rhodes at Crown Jewel. Cody, I still think, can tell a story through a loss better than Gunther can. Just my opinion. But I think I'm going to cut it right here, though, guys. I am starting to get tired, and I do want to get upstairs and get ready for bed. I also got to watch the new episode of SVU I DVR'd, which should be interesting for sure. So, yeah, thank you, guys. Like I said, I'll definitely review SmackDown. Maybe Saturday night's main event. We'll see how that goes. And then next week we'll do a preview for Rumble. I did watch next episode of WWE 24, but it was almost been a week since I watched it, so I kind of want to rewatch it again before I review it, because it's one that I definitely didn't see before. It's the one on Batista. And then just get more to come as well to the channel as well. I do have to record also still the second part of the final level of Spear of Destiny Ultimate Challenge. I do have the first part done where we defeat the robot. I just gotta fight the Angel of Death, whatever it's called in that game. So hopefully I'll get that, hopefully in the next couple days, but we'll see. So guys, that's my thoughts on this week's episode of Raw. Again, I'm trying my best to go live more often again this year. I missed the live streams. I'd rather do them than the uploads. They're a lot to prepare for, but maybe I should start sucking it up and just doing them live again. Leave your guys' thoughts down in the comments section below. Again, B- for this week's episode of Raw. Slap a like on the video and subscribe for more content on my channel. Follow me on Twitter as well, The Club with the Man 93, and on Instagram, The Club with the Man 93. Again, I'm taking a break from TikTok right now. The account's still there, but I'm just taking a break from it right now. So until then, guys, I'll check it out. I'll catch y'all later. Have a great rest of your night, and do not forget, in order to be superior to the man, you've got to be the man. And for I am the man himself. And that is not just an opinion, my friends. That is a fact of life. Yeah!